this is what we woke up to. I love painting snow, but we didn't really have much this season. In this video, I'm going to share with you a tutorial that I did for my class last year on winter landscape. I'm sharing there the process of choosing colors. They say that snow is just white. Well, it's not. And one of the best ways to make sure that I pick those right colors is to start with a value sketch. That's because the value sketch will show me how light or how dark my color should be in each area. Let's see it in the process. Here I have two ways to try out my colors. One is the swatches on the right. A lot of time that's how we would do it. But here I can just try them out right on this value sketch. Charcoal will be covered up by the pastel colors pretty well. The goal is that the color that I pick for each particular area in the composition is just as light or just as dark as the value in that area is. I'm always comparing different areas. For example, the shadows cast by the trees, they are a little bit lighter than the shadows we have within the tree, within the branches. And we also have this beautiful blue from the sky reflecting into the shadows. And that blue is darker when it's closer to the object, to the tree in this case, that's casting that shadow. And as it moves away, that blue becomes lighter. On a blue sky day, the shadows are cooler, there's more blue within them, and we definitely see that here. But even for the lighter colors, I'm going to use variation of colors, and it's going to be the contrast between the cooler colors and warmer lightest colors. For example, white that is more blue versus white that is more orange or more yellow. Even if the contrast between this warm and cool in the light colors is very minimal, I still need it because it allows me to create difference within the surface, to show that some of that sun turned towards the sun more and it's warmer and it's lightest than the area that's tilted a little bit away from the sun. It's becoming cooler. To create volume in the snow on the tree, on the main tree, I need to show that part of it is really in a bright sunlight, then we have the opposite part that is in the shadow, and then there's a transition, the mid-tones, which will be the transitional color between those darker blues of the shadows and lighter blues and lighter warmer colors on the sunlit side. And of course, it's not just a smooth object. Parts of those branches are going to stick out more, catch more light, they will be lighter, but within there will be those darker colors again. Now let's bring some beautiful, brilliant highlights to the left side of the tree, and it's going to be a warmer, light orange color. And it will help me express perfectly that beautiful contrast between the cooler colors of the snow and the warmer energy of the sunlight. I feel like I need to get some of those darker values within the tree. I had them, but they got eliminated by those mid-tones and some lighter colors. So let's use this darker purple. That's going to be for the snow that is more recessed. Then I'm going to use some nice, more chromatic blue at the top of the branches that might be picking up a little bit more of that pure color reflection of the blue from the sky. The brightly sunlit snow is bouncing its light back into the vertical surfaces, into the branches of the pine tree, and this a little bit greener blue is going to create that illusion of the reflected light for me. And also a little bit of pink. To me, it's like creating the effect of the sun passing through the snow and warming it up from the inside. In the distance, the colors are going to be a little bit cooler and less contrast between the shadows maybe and the lighter areas of the trees. And just overall, the colors are a little bit more toned down. And as far as the greens for the shadows in the trees, maybe using a little bit cooler green for that as well will work. And here, of course, my colors are mixing a little bit with that charcoal underneath, so it's already naturally toning them down. For the grasses, I want to add some of this kind of maroon color, but not just sticks. I want to mass it in a little bit so that later I can carve with my lighter snow color or the darker snow shadows, carve into that. Like right now with this darker blue, I can indicate the shadows between the grass and create more interesting shapes within it. So it's not just sticks that showing. And also let's take care of those footprints. And again, I don't just have to have one footprint after another. I can just create a shape and then with a lighter color carve into that shape. The lower right part of the hill is actually facing away from the sun, and I am using not the lightest color but kinda light mid-tone, this light cooler lilac, and that is for the right side. But because there are still some areas on it that are going to be a little bit more raised and catching the sun a little bit more, so I'm still going to add some of that lighter color even in this area to show that the surface is uneven, and even pick up some of that lightest orange color, the warmer color, and we'll pick up some highlights within this snow even here, like something that will give it a spark like this, and that will bring a little bit more detail here. I can create a little bit more interest in the area this way if there's a large open area. Sometimes just by creating some of these textures, some highlights, we can make it more interesting so that the overall composition works out better. And of course, it's tempting to add some highlights in the distant trees as well, even though I will try overall to keep the contrast between the lights and darks in the distance a little bit less pronounced than it is in the main tree. And there are some other light colors that I can use as well. I usually end up using several different color families. Like here right now it's very light turquoise I was using. Before it was light blue, light orange, all of that kind of overlaid and in different sunlit versus less sunlit areas. They create a nice variation, nice texture in the snow. And now just a little bit more with a hard pastel, some of those sticks, some of those grasses, and I'm ready for another area. I'm ready to start working on the trees. The trees in winter can present a bit of a challenge. It's very tempting to just start drawing lines because they don't have foliage. All we see is just branches and tree trunks. But I want to create a bit of volume first, and I'm using for that this a little bit earthier color, not just kind of blue gray. This one is more neutral purple gray, and that's for the bulk of the tree, and it recedes nicely, and also it's going to combine nicely with that lighter value of this color as well at the top when I want to show the clouds through this. But at the bottom, closer towards us, there's this kind of warmer orangey terracotta brown bush there, and I like it. I want it to come forward a little bit, and that's what this color does, and it also brings a little bit more life into this whole picture. And now this somewhat lighter, again very close, kind of lighter version of what I was using before, and this is supposed to be kind of the sky that we see between the branches at the top maybe. So that's the color of the clouds behind. Again, we can see the color differently, but I'm kind of leaning more towards this more lilac, more pinkish colors here, so I'm going with that. And it's a nice color, it's not too gloomy. And then on top of it, I will have my blue sky peeking through. Finally, the blue, and it just makes a big difference in the painting. Look how it just makes it smile, because it actually creates that nice harmony now between the sky and the shadows, the blue that we have in the shadows. Now it's more clear where it's coming from. I have to be a little bit more careful though, so that that blue in the sky doesn't merge with the blue of the shadow of the tree. So that's why maybe I should have a little bit of that grayed down color around the tree. Again, just kind of trying different variations. And to create a smoother transition of the trees, here the tops of the trees, maybe I'll have some of this a little bit cooler, but still that kind of warmer purplish color. And even some branches, some nice thinner branches to give it a little bit more variety, more character. And my color study is pretty much finished, and I have a nice, beautiful, sunny winter day. Please like this video if you enjoyed watching it, and if you like to see more videos from me. And you can also check out that self-study lesson that I have on painting winter sunset. There's a link to it in the description below.